Okay, so at the time of this video, in March of 2024, I want to just lay a few things down that will give you better insight about where the world's going and what you can do about having your role in spite of the direction things are going with artificial intelligence. The reason I'm doing this is it's time to stop missing out when the world is transforming right in front of you, knowing that by the time it does, many will build wealth, change the course of direction for their entire families, and then only for you because you were fearing early on to miss out. That's why I have to do this video. So at the time of this video, in March of 2024, it's forecasted that several things are going to happen by the 2027 and 26. And you have to understand, you've been around for this. You just seen it 2014 and 15 when they were announcing with some of the advancement of robotics. We're going to be able to check ourselves out at the grocery store without waiting in line. We were told that you're going to have to be able, you're going to be able to go to the restaurant. You'll be able to go to a kiosk and do those things. We've heard about and seen it over the last 12, 14 years. Now, where's the world going now? Yes, I know, I get it. Even gas stations, I'm very aware. You just go in where everybody's in line waiting to pay. You can go right there, swipe your card, do your thing, talk to it, tell it what you're getting, and boom, get it. But that's nothing. Even that industry will be disrupted from where it's going with artificial intelligence, because at the same time artificial intelligence is being introduced, other areas within that are being disrupted, such as things related to voice, visuals, video, imagery. And so now we have to think at a whole other level that will not even include swiping and doing those types of things. So now that I said that, in 2023, less than 5% of all enterprises adopted and utilized at some level artificial intelligence or generative artificial intelligence. It's forecasted that 80% by the end of 2026 and throughout in 27 for there to be 80% adaptability and utilization within enterprises. Meaning, well, I don't know. What does it mean to you? And I want you to really hear me when I say this. You've heard me in other videos say that when industries change, you don't get replaced because people want to replace you. Any of us are replaced because we stop realizing that we are the original large language model, the large language learning model. We are to learn and adopt. When we stop learning, unfortunately, everything replaces you. Don't believe me? Hey, guys, am I right? If you stop being useful, you lose your usability, does your wife replace you? Ladies, if you lose your usability, what happens? If you're in school, you're on the team, right? You used to throw 25 touchdowns, now you throw 3 a year. Guess what? You get replaced not because people don't like you, you're not as useful. What makes human beings in optimum use is when they can expand this to do more. What do they say? Be, do, have. If in fact we get to a point where it's like, thank God I'm finally out of school, I'm going to stop learning. Well, that's the beginning of the end. In the words of George Fraser, when more is going on outside of you than inside of you, the end is near. You have to keep things going on inside of you. And now it's a great opportunity. And I say that because currently, HR departments, customer service, whatever type of things you do for a vocation is not primarily driven by artificial intelligence, but it will be. It's a known fact. It's expected to have a huge impact on the gross domestic product as well by the end of 2026. What can you do? Wait? Oh, be afraid? Do you not know what has happened for those of us that were around when the internet was introduced? For those of us who were around when mobile phones were introduced? For those of us that were alive when microwaves were introduced, how did it affect everything else? People that were not progressing and developing, of course, were replaced with people who were. You see, the fear should not be that you're going to be replaced by AI, no more than anyone can be replaced by a computer or replaced by a microwave or replaced by a remote control. What happens is you just want to maintain and increase your usability. And how do you do that? By feeding this. So now that I got that out the way, I'm going to do several things. I'm going to give you a hot list of 5 tips to get you ready for your role, your place in artificial intelligence, so you're not replaced, for God's sakes, right? You don't want that. And how are you going to do that? I want you to look at the number on the screen and type in the word free. We're going to send that course free, nothing to buy. We're not going to be trying to sell you anything. Now, when I said that, let you know that we do have things for sale that you may want down the road, but I'm not going to push it in that course or on you now at all. I just want you to get ahead. So what do you do there? you go ahead and leverage the playing field. You can now know more than the majority of the world just by tapping in and giving yourself 15 to 20 minutes a day to know more. Yes, you can understand better how to communicate with it, how to get the kind of results you want back to yourself. And you can actually, you're going to find you can be more efficient in everything you do. So here's my five tips for you to really dive in and get optimum results when you start working with artificial intelligence if you have not. And if you already have, this is going to change the game for you as you deal with artificial intelligence. It doesn't matter what platform, whether it's ChatGPT, Copilot, Bard, Midjourney, I don't really care. The concept and the principles are the same. In the words of Dan Sullivan, owning technology is like owning a great dog, meaning that dogs were created to be useful. There was no such thing as dogs always. They came into being after mankind in nature needed to have better protection and also some other uses that they couldn't fulfill themselves, and a dog fit that narrative very well. Well, technology is the same. Did you notice that a dog will reflect whatever's going on with you? If you're a mean and angry person, your dog's gonna be mean and angry. If in fact you're unclear, your dog's gonna be unclear. Hey, ever see an unclear dog? Right? They jump all over the furniture. They lick your friends when you don't want them to. They lick themselves when you have company and you don't want that happening. There is no rule. A dog without proper instruction, without the proper prompts, get that, is in trouble. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you understand what I'm about to share with you about these 5 tips so you don't like that. Your technology will reflect what's in you. In fact, it'll multiply you. And here's how I tell you. If you're lazy, you want to fix that. You want to get a good work ethic because if it's lazy, it's either not for you or you better change. Because artificial intelligence is going to reflect your laziness in what it does for you. You won't become more efficient. You're going to be exposed. You're going to be exposed because what you're telling it to do, it's going to be garbage. It's going to make stuff up. And it doesn't matter if it's ChatGPT or one of the others, they all do it. It requires someone to instill real intelligence so it can give you some really amazing things back. So, laziness, it's a no-no. You can't be lazy. Number one. That's number one. Number two, you want to be patient. You don't want to say, oh crap, why is it taking so long? I can throw this thing through the window. Lose that. Just like you are with your dog. I mean, really, the first time you tried to potty train your dog so it doesn't use the bathroom in the house, did it work? You had to be patient. You had to understand. You had to give positive reinforcement. You had to make sure the dog understood. So you did it every day until they got it. Well, artificial intelligence is like that. It's not going to do what you want the first time. You have to be patient. It might get close, but it won't. It just doesn't do what you want until you are willing to take the time to train it. And I love this because being a father, right, grandfather, and I had pets, training is a part of it, right? You had potty train your kids. Did you really lose your control the first time that didn't work? No, you hung in there. So if you're lazy, fix it. Number two, be patient. Number three, work on follow up. If when you're talking to someone, you're not sure if they got the right idea, reiterate. Follow up for them. Follow up. Artificial intelligence requires that. It's not a one and done situation. Hey, the first time you asked your wife for a date or your husband out or whatever you guys may have done, it may not have worked. But had you given up, you wouldn't be where you're at. And so artificial intelligence is like that. It really requires the unconditional commitment to whatever desire you want back. I mean, if it doesn't work right the first time, you keep going, follow up. And you do that in these things we call prompts. You'll learn more about that in the free course. So don't forget, we have a free course. Text the number, text the word free. It doesn't matter what case you text it in, we'll send you the course. Now, we got 3 down. We've got lazy, patience, and then follow up. Now, here's another. You want to make sure you understand the power of reframing. And reframing means when you're following up or you're saying things, maybe you're used to talking a certain way to your friends and your loved ones or your homies, right? You want to reframe things. And so I learned this. Artificial intelligence was programmed by a lot of geeks, if you will, a lot of people that are very robotic in nature. So there are times where I'd say, hey, look, I want you to make this for me. I might change, say, I want you to create for me a 26 word. I actually start talking like they do, just to get more out. So I had to reframe things because sometimes here's what happens if you don't reframe. I might say, go to the store and get for me a candy bar. And the equivalent of that, when artificial intelligence would do it, it may come back with a candy cane. It's like, no, 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 no. Don't get angry. It's like, I said candy bar. No, no, no. You say, okay, let me reframe this. I'll reframe it. Hey, go to the store, get me a chocolate candy bar. made by Hershey, the Hershey Company. Now, all of a sudden, I was more specific. So when you reframe, instead of re-saying it only, you reframe and you actually include greater specificity. So there are some rules to that. I had to learn this the hard way. And that is the greater the specifics that you utilize when you're talking to artificial intelligence, the greater the outcome, the more specific and the tailored and customized the outcome is for you. So if you're just generic, like guess what? You're gonna get some very generic answers back. Don't let it write email messages for you. Don't let it write blog posts and articles unless you know exactly what I'm saying. Otherwise, it's going to turn out to be very robotic and insincere, not genuine, and ugly. But you don't want that. You want to make sure it's an extension of you and the way you think so that it has the vocabulary that you have. Guess what? It's going to require patience. It's going to require someone that's not lazy. It's going to require you to follow up and certainly reframe. Lastly, you want to be great in getting ready for this, develop yourself. Even if you take just 5 to 15 minutes a day to learn more than you knew the day before, it's going to change the game for you. You're going to increase your value, your stock's going to go up, and no matter what any company's doing, they're going to want you because very few people are doing this. Most people are utilizing artificial intelligence for games to make their face make a face, to put themselves on an island that doesn't exist. They're not utilizing it in a way that makes them very useful. You can do it. That's why we have our courses, and this is one that you want because it costs nothing. You can go in and get a head start and know more than the average person. How do you do it? Text free to the number on the screen, and we'll take care of that for you. But surely, don't forget the top 5. And so, here you go. Be specific and go through those 5 tips that I gave you, and you will begin to rule. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.